There was a group of riders who had taken a lap, so he was a little bit confused about what was going on. So this is the next race in the men's Omnium. We will have the points race to end things, but we'll bring you up to speed as we go through this men's Omnium as to exactly what is going on. Albert Torres, a first and a second place so far. And the gun goes off at the right time, which is always extremely good news. And we will just count down. We'll make sure you know who's being eliminated from the various different points on the track. The bell will go and the last rider will be eliminated until we come right down to the last two riders on the track. That's how you can keep... Oh, a big crash. Oh, two riders have hit the deck. One of them is Pedersen, number 10. So Pedersen hits the deck, touching a wheel. Normally the flag will come out for the neutralisation. Also hitting the deck is the Polish rider, and that is Simon Saniok. He's hit the deck as well. Looks like the two of them are firmly back up again, but the bikes will have to be checked, and the track will just have a quick look at. The riders just rolling around until we get confirmation that the race is back underway. And the race is now back and underway by the looks of things. No, we're not. We are still holding this neutralised. This is what happened. Looks like Pedersen and Saniok were involved in an initial touch of wheels. Saniok just sitting up to avoid being hit by the bike. And now he's safely going to be underway, and the judge will bring the yellow flag in. It's very nervous in here, and of course the riders are getting tired as well. At the front of the race then, the tempo is relatively high, but it is Simon Saniok who is at the back of the group. The gun goes off again. The adrenaline should catch Saniok any moment. Saniok now using the tactic to go up round the outside. The rider who's in a little bit of danger is there in the blue and white, the rider from Korea. They're all looking for a little bit of a gap. It's dicey in here. Saniok trying to stay in. Oh, that was a good elimination. And he now eliminates number 38, Viktor Manakov, the bronze medalist in 2014. So Manakov not having a good race here. He's down in 15th place overall. The bell goes again, and in difficulty at the back of the group, a couple of riders. Saniok again in difficulty, but I think he's using this as his tactic, as the Portuguese rider is the first rider called out then, Eva Oliveira, wearing number 37. They have little orange boxes on the handlebars, and those light up when you are eliminated from the race. The bell goes again. Who's going to be taken out of the group this time? It's the rider from Hong Kong, China. As you can tell, the whole crowd are going mad. And he sneaks in on the inside. And if he's clever, he will just make sure he doesn't get out. And I think it's Saniok who's going to be out this time. In fact, they have called the rider from Hong Kong, China out of the race. Lung Chung Wing. I don't think he can believe that, but there's no lie in the photograph. He was the rider eliminated that time. Saniok, still in the red and white of Poland, sitting at the back of the group. Sneaks in that time. Did he manage to get past? And this time it's the rider from Korea who is taken out of the group. This is Sang-Hoon Park, the 24-year-old under-23 Asian champion. half a wheel then between the riders that time. So you get the idea. This is the elimination race. This is the third race in the Omnium overall, a series of 4 different events, all now on one day, to decide who is the world champion. All points are accumulated, and Casper Pedersen then is the rider who is removed from the action, bronze medalist in the European Championship Team Pursuit in 2015. Oh, a little bit of a fight going on. Albert Torres is in a little bit of difficulty here. Torres is the rider in the red and yellow from Spain. He needs to get through, and they eliminate the rider from Mexico, I think. Edibaldo Maldonado is taken out of the race. You have to be concentrating so hard all of the time in this elimination. The Japanese rider is now the rider in difficulty, Shunsuke Imamura. Oh, another big crash, and the Belgian rider hits the deck. So the Belgian rider hits the deck then, Lindsay de Wilde. We'll just check, he gets back up again, he's sitting up. Touch of wheels, he came down really heavily on the inside of the track then. And we're neutralised yet again in this elimination race. And Lindsay de Wilde is back on his bike, no elimination this time. He's lost a fair bit of lycra off those shorts. He'll have a few splinters to remove from his skin as well later on. So he's just got to get himself composed and make sure he doesn't get eliminated in the next few eliminations. Just got squeezed there. He just had nowhere to go, actually. In fact, it was the German rider who touched a wheel. Oh, there's another big crash. And the Polish rider, the second time he's hit the deck. I don't think he can believe it. He's covered in scars. This has been one of the most messy elimination races I've seen in a men's Omnium. Oh, a big touch of wheels. Polish rider nearly righted it, and then suddenly goes tumbling down. That's going to be really painful. Just touched the wheel of the rider in front. Look at that. Oh, broadsides it. Almost gets it. Then he crashes down. Oh, the tyre comes off as well. So the mechanic is looking for a new bike. They are trying to, the commissaires are desperately trying to repair the track before the riders come round. The thing about this is the tempo is very, very slow in this group. The yellow flag is still out. And they've brought the yellow flag in now. The judges are really concerned about the track. And there was almost the track repairer going to be run over then. They're really worried about a gouge in the track, and he was kneeling trying to fix it. Oof, that was close. So the Polish rider, Simon Saniok, is back up on the track now. That was really nearly something we didn't want to ever see. Let's just all compose ourselves for just a second in here. Now the pace is starting to go up, and that's good, because when it's all closed up and tight and everything's cagey, there's no room in this peloton at all. And it's so tight at the front. Everyone is literally riding elbow to elbow in here. Now the back of the group is Albert Torres. He's the leader overall, and he's just now moving up. Oh, that was tight. Very, very tight indeed. And I think it was Shunsuke Imamura who was eliminated that time. There we go, confirmation. And he is removed from the peloton. Do message me if you would like to. @McCrossan is where you can join me on Twitter. What do you think of this elimination race? Okay, the Belgian rider is in some difficulty now. And he manages to eliminate the Ukrainian rider, I think. And we get confirmation that Roman Gladish is now out of the race. Still a big group of riders left here. And it is the rider from Kazakhstan who is now at the back of this group. He's the rider in the blue and yellow, Sultan Murat Miralev. And the German rider also trying to squeeze through here. Chris Latham goes up on the blue. I think he might get eliminated for that, if he did in fact go on the blue. Yep, Great Britain's Chris Latham is removed from the race. He cannot ride on the blue in the elimination. It's not allowed. In fact, he was the last rider across the line anyway. Torres is starting to move up now. Albert Torres, they're in the red and yellow. Prolific track rider. Madison world champion previously. And now finally the Belgian rider is removed, Lindsay de Wilde. Down to the last 11 in this elimination race. And now we have the riders all in one long line, led by Aaron Gate, who I think is lying second overall now. He needs to keep a good performance to close up on Albert Torres. As we see the Kazakhstan rider, Sultan Murat Miralev, taken out of the string. Albert Torres still riding at the back. He seems to be hanging back. He doesn't want to get involved in any of the tussles that are going on. He wants to ride a safe race, and every now and then he just accelerates his way onto the back of the group. It's making his life pretty hard. Those legs are going to be sore. And Torres is now just going to sneak past and eliminate somebody. And I think it was the rider in black at the bottom of the track. And it's Aaron Gate. He goes from the front to back. That's why you have to really concentrate in this race. That is going to cost him his position overall here. The former world champion from New Zealand, Aaron Gate, just squeezed out there on the inside. The Dutch rider is moving up. This is Roy Ifting. And now, finally, the Japanese rider is removed, number 24 there. He's taken out of the group. The bell goes for yet another sprint. It's Roy Ifting on the back in the colours of the Netherlands. Just in front of him is Gail Suter of Switzerland. Suter trying to move up on the outside. There's a little bit of room. Going to be very, very close in this sprint. And I think Gail Suter may well have been the rider taken out. Number 39. And yes, it is Gail Suter of Switzerland who is taken out of the action. I'm not sure, are you? Wow, that was a very close call. This could be the moment where Albert Torres puts himself into a winning position for this world title. The sprint goes on, and it's Roy Ifting against Torres, but down at the bottom of the track in the red and white. Number 5, the Belarusian, is taken out of the action, Roman Chishku. So 6 riders in here. The Australian rider is still here, Sam Welsford, world champion in the team pursuit. He's just been hiding. He's ridden an intelligent race so far, has Welsford. This could really help his cause. He was down outside the top 10. Oh, that was tight. Roy Ifting is now taken out of the action for the Netherlands. We're down to the last 5 riders. Maximilian Bayer, who's the German rider in here, is riding so close to the rider's wheels. as Torres now goes to the front. There he is, the German rider, up against Welsford. Welsford trying to sprint. Maximilian Bayer just against him. And Welsford is going to go safely through, so he's got 4th place sealed up. Maximilian Bayer of Germany, the bronze medalist in the points race. We're down to the last few riders then. The Italian rider, Simone Consoni of Italy, at the front. The French rider is in this group as well, Ben Thomas. Albert Torres shakes his head. I don't know if he's got the legs to go with this, or maybe he has. Oh, that's painful. Those legs are really searing in pain. Torres is taken out. 3 riders left then. Ben Thomas is in the colours of France. Welsford is in the colours of Australia. And Consoni, and they almost got dive-bombed by a bird that's flown into the velodrome. And having a little bit of fun. Simone Consoni out on the outside then is Ben Thomas and the Australian rider trying to stay in here. Sam Welsford, this is a great performance by Welsford. Oh, they're trying to conserve their legs a little bit. Still managed to sprint. So down to the last 2. Simone Consoni, the 22-year-old, rides for the UAE Team Emirates on the road. The under-23 World Championship silver medalist on the road, up against Sam Welsford of Australia. Now the sprint's going to go on. Welsford looks very, very good indeed. This is a great performance. Sam Welsford hits the line. He's really, really impressed with that. What a race. We hardly mentioned him at the beginning. He avoided all the crashes. Sam Welsford has put in a great performance in that race. He moves up into 7th place overall. His morale for the points race now will be very, very high. Well done to Sam Welsford. Despite losing a few points, Albert Torres will still be the leader of this race series overall.